So the next thing we need to talk about is squats. One of the best and most functional exercises there is. A lot of people have trouble with squats for different reasons. People with knee problems avoid them because they can cause knee pain, but there's lots of different modifications for squats, and everybody should be able to do some type of squat for functional strength and mobility. So I'm going to go through in this video all the different ways to modify a squat. So first I'm going to show you just basic freestanding squat technique if you have the strength and the mobility to do it this way. If you don't, or you're having pain issues, I'll show you a bunch of other ways to do it, and you can try which one is best for you. So basic principles of a squat. Feet should be hip width apart. Hip width means find the bones that stick out in the front of your pelvis here, and that's going to be your hip width for the purposes of this exercise. Hips, knees, ankles need to be stacked, so we don't want the knees collapsing in. We don't want the knees way out on the outsides of the feet. We want everything stacked up. Then we go into our squat movement. It's good to use the arms to counterbalance, and also because it helps with upper body strength. So it looks like this. You're sending the hips back, keeping the hips, knees, and ankles stacked up through the whole motion. But the other piece of this that's really important, I'll show you from the side, is your knees should not be coming too far forward. We want to keep the knees actually as far back as we can in relationship to the ankles. Sending the hips backwards first, keeping the abdominals engaged to support the spine. So this is proper technique. I'll show you what we don't want. We don't want this. See the knees going way forward over the toes? That's going to really hurt your knees. So we want you here. And just going through as much range of motion as you can. If you can just manage maybe a quarter of the range, that's totally fine. That's a starting point. And then as you get better, you'll be able to go deeper, hopefully with no problems. So that's basic squat technique. Now I'm going to show you the modifications. For strength problems or limited strength, you can start on a chair. Same principles apply though. We want hips, knees, and feet all stacked up. We want the knees to stay on top of the ankles as much as we can. So we're going to lean forward. Body weight has to come forward over the legs. And then we're going to stand up from the chair. And then we're going to sit back down in the chair in reverse. So sending the hips backwards, trust that the chair is there, and lower yourself back down to the chair. I'll show you that again. Taking the weight forward, engaging the muscles in the legs. Abdominals are also engaged to support the spine. And then in reverse, sending the hips backwards. Control, 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 knowing that the chair is there, relaxing at the end. You can always vary the height of the chair. If you can't go down so low, you could have a higher chair or put something on it so it's not so low down for you. So that's chair squat. If you're having trouble, which a lot of people do, keeping the knees back, if you really can't get that technique and your knees are always coming forward, there's a way you can help with that too by standing facing the chair. You want to put your feet under the edge of the chair so that your knees can only come forward a certain amount. Once again, abdominals are tight, sending the hips backwards, and the chair is there to stop your knees from going forward. Okay, you still want your hips, knees, and ankles all nice and stacked up, but this is going to help to force you sending the hips backwards, using the correct muscles, and keeping those knees back to protect the knee joints. Okay, and there's two other ways actually you can do a squat. Supported by the wall. Now this is when we want to start getting our upper back involved with some functional movement this way. We can support ourselves on the wall. So setting ourselves up as we would for a regular squat technique, pinky side of the hands on the wall supported, and just going down into the squat and coming back up, sliding the fingers along the wall, keeping the elbows straight. So this technique will actually engage your back muscles a little bit more. It's a little bit of a progression. You can try it if you like. And then the last one, if we have strength issues again, balance issues maybe, having trouble getting into that proper position, we can also hang on to something. A door frame works well. Everybody's got a door frame. If you put both hands on the door frame, standing a little bit back from the door frame about 6 to 12 inches. Then we're gonna use the door to support so that we can get the weight back. Again, makes it a lot easier strength-wise. It also makes it a lot easier on your back muscles to start with if your back muscles are weak. Okay, so you're still gonna be moving in a functional way through your ankles, knees, hips, and low back, but it takes a lot of the stress off. So you can also try it that way. So you can try all of those and see which one works best for you. And once you've got your squat technique, you can always progress it as your mobility and strength improves. So good luck with your squats.